Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Tonight, many people in South Florida are battling the potentially deadly winds and flooding from Hurricane Ian. What you see is just the beginning of the destruction from this Category 4 hurricane. Power has been knocked out of many parts of the area, and first responders have been ordered to take shelter. The threat of a record storm is slowly becoming a reality. Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Naomi Sanchez.
And I'm Kyle Orr. President Joe Biden says the federal government is on alert and in action as Hurricane Ian made landfall in the state of Florida earlier today. The Category 4 storm is expected to cause catastrophic damage, and its impact will be felt long after the storm moves on. CNN's Mike Valerio is looking at those impacts and how the federal government aims to help.
As Hurricane Ian slams Florida's west coast,
we'll be there at every step of the way.
President Joe Biden is promising federal resources to help. FEMA's top priority, search and rescue.
These teams will coordinate search and rescue efforts by land, air, and sea. We have 128,000 gallons of fuel remained ready for rapid deployment.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says they have generators ready to restore power to critical infrastructure. They've also gathered 3.7 million meals and 3.5 million liters of water in Alabama.
There are multiple volunteer agencies that are staged and prepared to perform feeding operations as soon as it is safe to do so.
More than 2,000 flights canceled so far Wednesday, according to FlightAware. If the storm stays on its current track, flooding could cripple the I-4 and I-75 corridors, straining supply chains to and from the state. And while there are concerns damage to Florida's signature crop could cause the cost of oranges to spike, Ian is not expected to pose a major threat to national oil and gas supplies.
I want to add one more warning. That's warning to the oil and gas industry executives. Do not, let me repeat, do not use this as an excuse to raise gasoline prices or gouge the American people.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
There are a number of groups here in Texas that are mobilizing to Florida to provide aid once the storm passes.
Yeah, and our thoughts are with those who have been affected by Hurricane Ian. But now moving back to Texas weather, it got a little cooler today, right, Kyle?
Yes, it did, Naomi. We've recently been noticing a drop in temperatures, which may be a direct result of Hurricane Ian's landfall. Let's go to Olivia Thompson for our first look at weather. Olivia?
Thanks, guys. Actually, you're right. We're sitting at high 80s for the weather this week, but today specifically, the temperature has been 88. Our low temperature has been 88. Our wind speeds have been 9 miles per hour, and our high temperature has been 88, and the conditions have been sunny. Now later tonight, things are going to cool down a little bit over 10 degrees, and we'll be sitting at 77, and the wind speeds will be at 6 miles per hour, and you'll have clear skies. Now later tomorrow morning, things are expected to start around 61 degrees, but it'll warm back up to 85 degrees. It'll feel like 85, and wind speeds will be at 9 miles per hour. Come back to join me for our full weather report and more about Hurricane Ian. But for now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Olivia. A gun violence epidemic. That's how President Joe Biden described the nation's state in light of several recent shootings, including the one in Uvalde. Texas lawmakers have responded by encouraging more school districts to arm their employees. I spoke with Rainey Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, to see how educators feel about this new push for this program.
The same people who have said that they don't trust us to teach, to do the things we're trained to do, now, because they don't want to take guns off the streets, are trying to get us to be armed. It's insane.
After the school shooting in Uvalde, the Texas American Federation of Teachers surveyed over 5,000 educators. 77% stated they would not want to be armed. Apart from teachers, the director of the Texas School Safety Center has stated that adding more guns in schools could make shooting scenarios more dangerous and difficult when needing to identify the shooter. In an interview with the Texas Tribune, Kathy Martinez-Prather said, quote, "When an officer shows up to the school and there's a shooting and you have a firearm, they're not going to ask if you're a guardian." Since its establishment in 2013, the Texas School Marshal Program has received continuous state funding. Despite being in place for almost a decade, less than 300 school employees have taken advantage of this program. Gretchen Grigsby, Director of Government Relations at the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, expands on those numbers.
There's currently 62 school districts that have school marshals in place. Now, you look at the context of the large state entities that we've got across and the number of school districts across, and it's a relatively small percentage, but lots of districts are using different options. This is one of them.
Requirements to become a school marshal include an 80-hour training course, along with a psychological exam to receive approval. Even with training, armed adults could still mishandle their guns. According to information collected by the Gifford Law Center, some of the most notable reports in recent years include a high school teacher in California accidentally shooting 3 students during a public safety class, a substitute teacher's gun firing in a Florida elementary school after falling off his waistband, and a Michigan deputy's gun firing after a student tried to grab it. Despite concerns, Grigsby expresses that this program is something they see staying funded for years to come.
The biggest factor is time. And when you have somebody that is able to be there very quickly, that is really the biggest, I think, difference.
After the school shooting in Uvalde, Gretchen states that they actually saw an increase in volunteers. The Texas Commission on Law Enforcement approved about 80 new marshals as students got ready to begin the new school year.
On top of school safety, mental health has been a priority for many, and the new suicide hotline number saw an increase in calls since the transition. Our live reporter Regina Cepeda is out in the field right now with more for us on how this change has impacted many. Regina?
Thanks, Kyle. On July 16th, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration released a new suicide prevention hotline, 988. Data shows there has been a 45% increase in callers, and response time has been cut to just 42 seconds. Suicide remains the 12th leading cause of death in all age groups. Additional federal funding will provide more money to expand resources and add other features, such as a video chat to the hotline. If you or anyone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, please call the National Prevention Suicide Hotline, 988. Or you can call the Denton County Crisis Line at 1-800-762-0157. That's all that I have for you today. But suicide is the mental health issue that gets the most attention. ntTV's Asa Alcorn has more on the issue of mental health and stress here on the UNT campus. Asa?
According to the 2021 Mental Health in America report, Denton County has about 153,000 out of 942,000 adults dealing with mental illness. The state of Texas currently ranks 50 out of 51 in terms of access to mental health care.
Social anxiety increased a lot just with like the lack of being around people and like exposure to large crowds.
I was stressed a lot, stress eating, gained a lot of weight. Then after COVID, it was like, I don't know what happened, honestly.
During COVID, I transferred to UNT, so trying to meet people was difficult because the entire campus, like no one was really going, all the classes were like hybrid.
While the pandemic affected some UNT students mentally, others seemed to thrive. Here are some ways students chose to uplift their spirits during tough times.
Music is a good way to just block everything out. And you know, there's different types of music you can listen to, good music, uplifting music, whatever you're feeling.
I meditate, I talk to my spirit guides, and I hang out with my friends and try to be out with nature.
I'll go outside, catch sunlight. I do skincare. Actually, I'd probably ride my skateboard.
I kind of like mystery stuff, you know, like even with movies and Netflix, you know, the Dahmer thing. It's kind of creepy and stuff, but it's like interesting.
For ntTV News, I'm Asia Alcorn.
Kyle and Naomi, ntTV will be covering this issue again next week. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Regina. Great news, travelers. This mode of transportation might get an upgrade pretty soon.
NASA's Webb telescope has released new images today, but before we go to break, we've got a rather interesting story for you. So let's check in with our live reporter, Austin Hedgecock, for more information. Austin? just kidding.
Test. Okay.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
The man arrested last week on the UNT campus for disrupting a career fair is out on bond tonight. 36-year-old Anthony Ray Ivy bonded out of Denton County Jail. He was charged by UNT police with disrupting a meeting and criminal trespass. He was arrested at the career fair for merchandising, hospitality, and tourism college. There is still no word on the motive for causing the disturbance.
Nomi, I don't know about you, but I don't want these blue skies or great temperatures to go anywhere.
Yeah, neither do I. If it would be possible, I would want them to stay all year round, but you know, that's not a reality. But Olivia, how much is the weather going to change for the next week?
Well, Nomi and Kyle, I do have some good news for you as far as what our full weather forecast looks like for our 7-day period. But first, I want to take a look at what things are looking like over in Florida. I'm going to show you what the projected pathway for Hurricane Ian actually is. So on your screen, you should see these darker and lighter red regions here and over here and further north towards Charlotte. These red regions are going to show you what the center of Hurricane Ian should be crossing over. Now, on the sides of where you see green, yellow, and possibly orange, on the sides of this funnel-shaped or almost ice cream-shaped diagram, things aren't sweet for citizens in that area. And that's simply because they're going to experience coastal winds, strong winds, coastal flooding, and catastrophic storm surge. Now, primarily, strong winds are the culprit for strong storm surge, and that's basically an abnormal rise in water levels. And as far as going up northward, those states above Florida should be taking precautions to keep safe from Hurricane Ian. Now, looking further into, or closer into our North Texas region, we have over in the north area, Sherman is sitting at 89 degrees. Over out west, we're at 92 degrees for Graham. And then sitting in the lower region, as far as Dallas or Fort Worth goes, it's going to be 88 degrees or 89 degrees. Now, if we're going to take a closer look at what the region looks like, it's going to be 88 degrees further north in Oklahoma. If you're planning on traveling, things are going to sit in the high 80s or low 90s temperature-wise, mostly for the rest of this week. And then also further out west, we have things sitting at 84 degrees, and over in Shreveport, it's going to be 83 degrees. Now, like I said earlier, Kyle and Nomi, we're going to be looking at our 7-day forecast. Things look pretty good. It's been bright and sunny all week. Tomorrow, we're expecting it to be 85 degrees with a low of 55 degrees. If you plan on traveling, you have some good travel weather. You don't have any worries of rain. As you can see, we're sitting at the high 80s throughout the weekend past Sunday, and into next week we'll be at 88 degrees as well, with lows at 58 and then a higher low on Wednesday at 61 degrees. Thank you for joining me for our full weather report. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much, Olivia. That forecast looks great. And something else that is great looking is this. The latest pictures from the Webb Space Telescope. What you are seeing is a spiral galaxy 29 million light years from Earth. Those spiral arms are what NASA calls the bones of the galaxy. This kind of detail has never been seen before. So far, the Webb telescope has taken pictures of the planets Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune. NASA officials say the Webb will be sending us great space video for another 20 years. For the first time in aviation history, the world's first all-electric passenger airplane took off from a small airport in Washington State. Her name is Alice, and she is a zero-emission aircraft. Alice flew, reaching an altitude of 3,500 feet yesterday morning. The 9-passenger aircraft was designed by an Israeli company and can travel up to 287 miles an hour. The plane uses basic car technology, batteries, and can fly for 1 hour on a 30-minute charge.
And the company is hoping you will be in a passenger seat on Alice by the year 2027. The city that loves you back but never says thank you. In a recent survey of the nation's largest cities, Preplay found that Philadelphia, home to the Eagles and the Liberty Bells, is the rudest city in the U.S. Austin, where do the major Texas cities fall on this list?
Well, Nomi, thanks to that southern hospitality, only one Texas city makes an appearance on the naughty list. Houston sits just inside the top 10. As for the rest of Texas, it's a different story. 5 of the top 15 most polite cities in the nation are located right here in the Lone Star State. Our very own capital city, Austin, Texas, comes in at number 1. Fort Worth follows close behind at number 3, and El Paso, San Antonio, and Dallas hang together at numbers 13, 14, and 15. But what exactly does it mean to be rude or to be polite? Well, according to the survey, Americans feel that using your phone in public, blocking cars from merging in traffic, and not respecting personal space are all rude behaviors. On the other hand, tipping, acknowledging strangers, and slowing down around pedestrians are all seen as polite behaviors. At the end of the day, the most any of us can do is treat everyone we meet with kindness and respect. That's all I've got for now. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Austin. You couldn't have said it better. When we come back, we'll check in with our reporter Sierra Pope about a possible dental plan for UNT students.
And if you're a classic fan of classic arcade games, stick around for today's Denton on a Dime. Keep it here.
Near Sanctus Spiritus.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Hey, Maddie, miss me?
Wait, Bud?
What was that all about?
An old friend.
An old friend?
Good to see you, brother. What the hell are you doing?
That's your lucky day.
Is now offering affordable dental insurance plans for students through their dental office, Campus Smiles. Sierra Pope has more. Sierra?
Thanks, Kyle. Students, are you in need of dental repair?
or simply want a brighter smile? If so, come check out Campus Smiles, the UNT dental office located in the Student Health and Wellness Center. It opens 5 days a week, and it's super easy to book an appointment with licensed professionals. Plus, Campus Smiles is now offering insurance for students. This affordable plan provides coverage on nearly 200 dental services and procedures. Bright Smiles for Students has easy eligibility requirements and no monthly payments. To learn more information, please visit Campus Smiles Denton at UNT or refer to the links on your screen. You do not want to miss this opportunity to improve your smile. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Sierra. Now, I'm often looking for a place around Denton where I can have a nice date or, hang out with friends.
Yeah, me too. I definitely agree with you on that. Our segment anchor, Chama Agbor, may have just a spot for you.
Thanks, Novi and Kyle. Dent Square is a staple for many local residents, and this week I had the chance to check out an arcade recently added to the lineup for historic downtown Denton.
Games and more games. Free Play, located at 101 West Hickory Street here in Denton, may be just what you're looking for.
We're a retro arcade, mostly dedicated to retro games. We have some new things. And again, a lot of these games, it's all original equipment. None of it's, emulated. So this is all stuff from the early 80s up through now. Some stuff's current. And again, you can't play a lot of these games anywhere else.
Being a 90s kid, this is definitely around my wheelhouse.
The vintage and obscure games are what keeps customers coming in.
It's a break from the mundane of just going to a bar and throwing darts, right? Like when you come here, you can play games, and they're games from different eras. So the variety here is just incredible.
The goal is to have fun. This is a great place to come hang out with friends, family. If you've got somebody coming in from out of town, it's kind of a unique experience. We stock a lot of things that a lot of other places don't have.
Although Free Play is known for their games, the wide variety of drink selections don't go unnoticed.
We have 52 drinks on tap plus a full bar.
They have amazing drinks. Their tap selection is phenomenal.
Upon paying the fee of $12, you're given a wristband, which gives you admission to play over 120 retro arcade games.
You can take your family here, you can go ahead and grab a bite to eat. You can always come back a little bit later in the day because you have a wristband for that day. It's just a really awesome place and something that I think Denton really needed.
This location is open starting at 3 p.m. Mondays through Fridays and at 11 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays.
If you want to have an awesome time, you can come out here, hang out with your friends, have some drinks, have some food, play some games. It's a good time.
The drink's good, the food's good, the people are good. The overall vibe is just amazing here.
For ntTV News, I'm Chama Agbor.
Be sure to check out Free Play soon. It closes tonight at 11 p.m. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Chama. As mentioned before, Hurricane Ian has officially made landfall in Florida.
And this is probably leaving many sports fans wondering about the fate of their upcoming matchups.
Yeah, Spencer, what can you tell us?
Well, guys, tonight I'll discuss Hurricane Ian's impact on the East Carolina-South Florida game and recap what could have been the last time we see Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers battle it out. Stay tuned.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep?
Yeah, go to bed.
Hurricane Ian has now reached the college football world, forcing the East Carolina-South Florida game to FAU's stadium in Boca Raton. Originally set for Saturday evening at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, the American Athletic Conference announced the relocation due to the storm's expected impacts on the Bay Area. The game is now set for 2:30 this coming Saturday afternoon. NFL fans got a real treat this past Sunday, watching Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady face off for what could have been the last time. The reigning back-to-back MVP threw 2 touchdowns in the first half, while Brady added one of his own as time was running out. But the 2-point conversion failed, giving the Packers the ugly win 14-12. With Brady's retirement coming after this season, NFL fans are hoping to see these two legends battle it out one last time this coming postseason. Last week, I had the opportunity to talk to a few residents at Clark Hall about what sets them apart from the other teams in this semester's Intramural Football League. Intramural sports have always been a time for college students to immerse themselves in a friendly yet competitive environment, and UNT is certainly no different.
With fall and football season in full swing, students from different dorms are competing to figure out once and for all which UNT residency is the best of the best. But for one hall, this opportunity is so much more than just playing football.
Established in 1966, Clark Hall is one of UNT's longest-standing dormitories, and although a few renovations have taken place over the years, one thing has never seemed to change.
We can all just have fun and go outside and practice with each other and yell and fake be mean to each other. I think it's just a time to bond and just be crazy.
Pretty much just reminded me of how I used to play football and how the team I used to be on wasn't that big, but yeah, we were able to put enough work and effort in to make it a really good team.
They wanted everybody at all the Clark Sharks to be a part of this football team, to just come together and play football. It's not about if we win or lose. It's more of just hey, we're a group of friends and we want to come together and just play ball.
Despite coming out of their first game with a tough loss, Clark was not down on themselves. With not just a team, but a community assembled, the Clark Sharks look poised to bounce back with a stronger performance in the coming weeks.
2, 3, Clark Sharks!
The Clark Sharks are certainly a team to watch in the coming weeks. That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much, Spencer. Now, thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.